and pressed close against her legs were two tiny puppies. Shivering, fragile, far too small to survive a mountain storm on their own. Ethan had driven this road countless times during late-night patrol shifts. It was usually empty, forgotten, just a ribbon of asphalt cutting through pine and silence. But that night, the storm had erased edges and distance, turning the world into white noise. When his headlights caught those shapes on the roadside, something inside him tightened in a way no long night shift ever had. The shepherd didn't bark. She didn't retreat. She simply watched him. Her eyes held fear, fatigue, and a quiet determination that said she would stay exactly where she was. She would not leave without her pups, not even for warmth. That was when Ethan noticed the chef how the shepherd angled her body slightly, shielding them more fully. Not aggression, protection. He turned back and opened the passenger door wide. Warm air spilled into the storm, the interior light casting a gentle glow onto the snow. He didn't rush. He didn't call. He waited. Trust, he knew, was never forced. Then, finally, the shepherd took one cautious step forward. She stopped, studied him. Another step, and another, until she stood at the edge of the open door, warmth brushing her face. For the first time, her strength faltered just enough to show how close she was to giving out. Ethan lowered himself to one knee, making himself smaller, tapping the seat gently, not a command, just an invitation. What he didn't know was that this quiet moment, this open door in the middle of a storm, was about to change far more than one night on a mountain road. The shepherd stepped forward, not because she fully trusted him, but because her puppies no longer had the strength to wait. One of them stumbled, legs giving way. Ethan moved instantly, spreading a thick blanket across the floor, absorbing snow as warmth wrapped around them. She nudged her pups inside, one by one. When she climbed in last, she turned to face him, her eyes searching his face as if memorizing it, deciding whether this was safety or another cruel trick of the world. Then she curled around her puppies, shielding them even now. Ethan closed the doors gently. For the first time since stopping, he let himself breathe. As the heater hummed, the puppies stirred. Tiny tails twitched. One crawled clumsily toward his boot, pressing its nose against the leather. Something inside Ethan softened, something he hadn't realized had gone quiet years ago. He drove carefully down the mountain, checking on them at every turn. When the shepherd finally rested her head against the seat and closed her eyes, he knew she had made a choice. Not just to accept help, but to trust. At a small roadside veterinary clinic, long past closing hours, he knocked until lights flickered on. No questions were asked, only action. By dawn, the storm eased. The puppies slept in warmth, safe and full. The shepherd stood beside Ethan, her tail brushing his leg like it belonged there. When the vet said they would survive that, they had been minutes from freezing relief washed through him. Ethan knelt and whispered a promise he hadn't planned to make, that she would never be alone again. Some rescues don't end with goodbyes.